Hello, everyone. Yeah, this is just something I'm gonna pop in. Let's see if this works. Okay, I think we're up. I just am grabbing some scraps. And we are going to make some ephemera. Hello, Sala. How are you doing? Haven't talked to you in so long. Or it's been a while since I've seen you. Um, we're just going to do some fun, sloppy watercolor things. And we're going to turn these into ephemera. These are scraps of Bristol cardstock. And the ephemera, let me grab it here. There we go. Okay, thanks, Phil. That we're making is putting together a um, a journal, and it's a journal that's good for hello, Kathy. Um, it's using a lot of drawing papers and watercolor papers. So it's going to be like a sketchbook slash journal for the artist in your world. So I have the base here. So it's going to be this size. And then I have that spine there. And then these are all the different papers that I'm putting in there. So, as we continue to clean and purge, we find just so many things. So we're going to use them. That's the world that I am into when it comes to this. So I'm looking to make my ephemera kind of have an artsy feel as well. And we can do that with supplies that we already have. Now, for the watercoloring that we're going to do, you can use watercolors and any watercolors. You can use the Crayola. I love the Crayola sets. I think they're awesome. You can use your re-inkers for your dye inks. So I'm going to be actually using my Distress inks. They are great to not only refill the pad, but also to use as watercolors. Use them as you would with watercolors. So we can get all kinds of different uses from them. So that's what we're going to do today. I just chose 6 colors. So I have my little palette here. I also have this block here because I'm going to pull in, of course, we've got to have some white splatters. So I'm going to be using a white gouache. You could use a white acrylic paint. You could use a white gel pen. I have that as well. I have some black liners that we're going to add, some scribbles, and then I have uh, Dick Blick has a great white pearl watercolor, so I put it in this little bottle. We may use that. So we're just going to have fun. After we get our color down, we're going to rip them up and just make little tiny ephemera clusters. And we'll see how this goes because I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. Good morning, Cordelia. I hope you are doing well. Yes, Cordelia, I am still in my jammies too. Yes, I am. Absolutely. Yes. Sala, I am doing good. Had a little bit of a slow week. Just taking a breath, just a little bit. So just sat back. I have so many things going on in my brain right now. So I just wanted to take a breath. Just take that breath. All right, so let's get our palette. So the colors that I chose, they're very muted colors. That's kind of what I go for, are um, muted colors. I I love a rainbow. I think rainbows are great. Um, but my rainbow is, I like to lean towards a different. So they could also be said that they're neutrals that I enjoy. Um, so I have chosen Vintage Photo, Black Soot, Aged Mahogany, Uncharted Mariner, Forest Moss, and Speckled Egg. So there's the colors that we're going. You knew Vintage Photo was coming in, right? I'm just saying. Just saying. And what's great with your re-inkers, you only need a drop or two. So you're hardly using your re-inkers. But it's a way that we can use our supplies, stretch them out, and have some fun with them. So I'm just putting 2 drops. And of course, I'm going to set the bottles off above me so that I have somewhat of an idea of what colors what. Just saying. Because I will forget. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yes, for some reason, I am just muted. And I don't know if again, that's what I lean to. I lean towards, um, okay, how do I want to say? Just a vintage vibe. And that's what I say. Now, don't get me wrong with vintage. There's bright pinks, there's bright blues when it comes to some vintage photos. No pun intended there for that. And I'm just going to use my silicone mat here to mix up some of the colors. Now, what I should have done was put my glass mat here, but didn't even think about it. I'm going to pull off those. So the brushes I'm going to be using is, I'm going to be using a flat, just a 1/4 inch, and then this is like a mop. Because again, we're not going to think about this, although I started thinking about it. So, but we don't want to do that. Let's see. Oh, Kathy, you got a new puppy. Oh, yes, they are demanding. But that's when they're fun, too. Yes. Sala, my rainbow has definitely been washed in mud. Yes! So I just have these strips. As I said, they're Bristol. You could use, and these are my scraps. So these are like, my cutoffs. Again, I save everything, even these, because these we can turn into washi tape. Yes, we can. And we're going to do that. Now, of course, I'm going to step away because I'll have to get some of my stamps because I didn't do that. This was just something, I had my first cup of coffee and I'm like, you know what, let's go live. Let's have a play with everybody. Um, and this just kind of popped into my head. Sorry for the gulp. Now, I'm going to do, when it comes to watercoloring, and I'm going to keep using that term, even though we are, saying we're using our re-inkers. And remember, with re-inkers, you just need a little. You can see how intense. These are just way intense. So you can see with your flat line, we're going to get some cool lines going like that. And we're just going to, make some strokes here. Let's just get some color down. Let's have some fun with it. We'll see what we come out with. And you are going to hear, of course, the heat tool that's going to come in. Dawn, how are you doing? Welcome. Sorry for that noise because I can't find my quiet. I call it the quiet one. At least it's not that loud. But I don't, by me hitting it with the heat gun, it's not perfectly dry, but by me doing that, it's not going to curl the paper too much. I don't want it to curl. And you can see I'm just barely putting my brush in there and then just getting it mixed through the brush as we just now come in. Just like with watercolors, they'll be translucent. So you can see when I go over that vintage photo, it's barely seen. The more pigment you have on the brush, the deeper the color will be. And to pick up the rest of that, I'm just going to add water to it. So let's have some fun here. If it is still wet, it's just going to mix in. I am not worried if I get mud. We're just having a play here. So how has everyone been doing? Having fun in our crafty spaces or other things that we have to deal with? I just keep checking the comments every so often. Where's my forest moss? Oh, that's there. Oh, got a lot going on there. Lots going on there. Oh, we'll even pick up these colors and mix it around. Why not? And you can see how quick this is taking. Okay, I like that one. I think we're going to stop on this one right there. All right, we're going to set that one off to dry. Now for this one, yep, I'm going to pull in one of these strips. And I think I am going to pull in because I should have done this from the beginning. Just pull this off to the side. And we're just going to coat this with the green. Now remember, anytime we add colors to our paper, whether you're using your watercolors, whether you're using your re-inkers, whatever that is, they will dry back. So that won't be as dark. But I kind of like that. So we're going to do a bunch of those strips too. So yes, have fun making your own washing. And I'm not worried about the other colors coming in. It'll make a cool color, see? Just get them coated. And since this one's still wet, streaks. And I love it when it just does the work for you. You got that one? And then with your inkers or your watercolor, if you have a big pool down there, puddle, just add water to it and it will spread around. I do like to use um, my reinkers for stuff like this because of the way they dry. They just dry very differently, which I think is cool. Oops. So I'm just creating the ephemera to our to that art journal. And I thought, why not create some paint stroke stuff to get some different pieces. All right, let's get back to a big piece. I think I have enough of those down there. I think I want a bigger flats. Yes, let's use this one. So I want to get a lot of color down. And you can see, like with that one, I'm not even going back into the color. I'm just getting water back on my brush. Well, this is really going to curl up, but that's okay. Now, what's a lot of fun, if you take alcohol, so I love those drips and all that, while it's still damp, if you take your alcohol and spritz it, you get these cool bubbles. Yeah, Cordelia, work's been, I started a new job about 2 months ago, actually 2 months today. Um, and yeah, it, it's kind of taking up more time than what I thought, but that's okay. But see what the alcohol does? It's really cool. Really love that background. And you can see, yes, your paper will curl. Now, we always say when it comes to doing these, um, that let everything dry. And you do want to. I tend to like to let things dry on their own because you get these wonderful pooling areas where it puddles, it blooms. That's called a bloom when it does that. And I really like that. Even like when you add the alcohol too, it almost looks like you added white paint to them. So I think that is really cool as well. I'm going to turn around and hit this. And you can see it flattened back down. And that's a sign that you know that your work, when it's completely, it'll actually flatten itself back out as it dries. So, okay, I just like that for a card. What do y'all think? I'm loving that one. I am always in the world of when it comes to stuff like this, whether you're doing an inky background, ink smushing background, watercolor background, you know what? Let the paint and the water do the work for you. Let's get some aged mahogany in here. I want some of that. We're going to do big strokes on this one. You can See, I went off the page. And it's always best, just move quickly. Just keep going. I'm just moving slow because I need to see, okay, where's my colors? Where do I keep losing where my colors are. So it's going to have a little bit of a darker feel. And as you can drag, we get these other swipes, which I think is cool. Let your, let the colors mix. There's going to be browns in these, which is awesome. And that's where I want to finish up. That's not where I wanted to finish up. It's all about color. All about the color. That one's kind of fun. And again, while it's still damp, you can just add a few spritzes or splatters of your alcohol and just let it do its thing. Alcohol does not do any damage. It's just actually... Now, if you don't have rubbing alcohol, but you may have some vodka, you can do that. You can use that too. Yeah, just saying. Cordelia, what blue? For this one, this is Uncharted Mariner. I'm absolutely in love with Uncharted Mariner. It's the new colors that he came out with. Um, to me, the Villainous Potion, Uncharted Mariner, um, and Speckled Egg. They are my absolute three favorite. Oh, I love that one. Looks like a quilt. All right. I'm running out of room, but I don't care. We're going to keep going. And this has a funky edge. Um, you can, yes, Cordelia, you can, because it's alcohol. Yeah. I I think it should be used for something else. But if you're in a pinch, yes, you can. You do know they use vodka is used not only in wonderful drinks, but vodka, they use vodka for cake decorating paints because the alcohol evaporates and you can paint like on fondant and everything else. That's what they use. They use vodka. It's clear. It mixes the pigment up so that you can pick it up with a brush. And a lot of people use it to um, decorate cookies. Because me and my sister did that once. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. This one here is Speckled Egg. It's a very light color. Very, very vintagey-ish. And I just want to pick up, not that one. Of course I have to pick colors that are like really close together. I want to really water down. The Vintage Photo. I'm a huge fan of Vintage Photo and Speckled Egg together. And you can see how many panels we're getting done, or we're getting completed. I'm not watering down the speckled egg too much this time. I just want it to go back and forth. So we've got that cool background there. And I'm just, you can see I'm not hitting it with the heat tool. I'm just letting this dry. Just like I did with this one. And look, it went flat again. So as they dry, they will go back to being flat. Now for this one, I'm just going to pick up all of my colors here. And that's what's great when you pick up your splatter. We knew we were going to splatter, right? When you have like all of your neutral colors, this is the green, the aged mahogany, vintage photos, speckled egg, all of them, and you get this earthy color. When you do something like this, choose your colors and stick with those colors. So I have a palette here for 6, and those are the colors that I am sticking with. I don't want to overwhelm myself with all the colors. Finally, vodka is good for something. Absolutely. Multiple uses. Multiple uses. No cake for the kids. Well, just, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh my goodness, I'm kidding. Let's see. Yeah, they don't. That's how vodka originated, Cordelia, from potatoes. And you're right, it is. It's very difficult now to find it made from that. I'm sure, though, that we would be able to find it. You'd have to probably just go to an older distillery. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hit that with some alcohol. One of the things that I struggle making, I don't know how everybody does it. I just do not know. Is where you use your tape and you put alcohol inks on top of it to make it the see-through vintage tape. I can't do it. Mine's still sticky. It rubs off. It's horrible. I don't know how Biddy does it. I have absolutely no idea how she does it. So I'm just going to have the look of it. It just won't be see-through. Let's get these mixed together. Oh, no, that's going to be a fun color. Yeah, there you go. See, now I made picking up what's on my glass mat as well. So just getting these base colors down for these strips. Yep, we're going to stamp. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to pick up everything that's on my mat here, though. Let's not... Oh. Swish it around there. Let's add some water. It's kind of cool. It's fun when you take your strips and just go into everything you've got going on. Doing a little bit of ink smushing here. Letting that one go. Let's see. Yes, Cordelia. Now I had to add a little bit more to the speckled egg, and that's because it's lighter. So when you use a lighter color, and this is the lightest one out of all of the neutrals that I use, the other ones are really dark, concentrated colors. Um, you'll add a little bit, but you can see I still have these large, you can tell what my favorites, are going on in here. But you really, from your re-inkers, we can put them to good use. Now, to keep this strip flat, I'm going to put water on both sides and put that down onto my surface. Now, that will actually suck to the glass. So now I can just have fun. Let's see what happens if I just dip colors in randomly. I think it's looking like chicken pox, actually. And you can see it'll stay. So we're just gonna, I like that color though. So that was Black Soot and Uncharted Mariner. Creates a really cool blue-gray going on there. And since there's water down, that's going to stay. Let's add some. And to mute down the aged mahogany, what I'll do is I'm going to pick up my vintage photo, and I'm going to pick up some of the Black Soot. Now we've got this really deep maroon. But you can see the swirl of black. So mix and match. Have fun with your colors. It's a great way to learn when it comes to your colors. I'll go on the edge of that. Again, just toning it down just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. I know I'm doing something wrong when I try to make that tape. I absolutely know it. Um, but I just cannot get it to work. I go back and I let it dry a day later. A day later, I come in and it's still sticky. I can't work with it. It's just, it's horrible. And it's very frustrating because I do want to have that tape. But that's okay. Okay, so, wow, okay. Bunch of pages we have. So we've got this one, which, yes, is my favorite. My second favorite is this one. To me, it looks like a patch quilt. Just gonna swipe that. I think that one looks really cool as well. We've got this one, so we've got some texture going on here. I love this one. This one's playful. I love the colors. Reminds me of beachy. Very beachy. And then we have, oh, yeah, ooh, hello. Then we have all of our strips. So these are fun. Some of them are solid. Some of them have crazy colors. Some of them have something that was on the paper. And then we have these. And we have these. So you can see very neutral that I'm looking at. This one looks like it's got chicken pox, but that's okay. And then we have this one, gives us a different color. And then we have this one, and you can see the colors are still moving. And I love to just leave them alone, let the colors work, let the colors move. I do want to create, though. Oops, wasn't stuck. Blue one. A soft one. I'm running out of space, which is fine. Alright, now let's... Just going to wetten all these colors up. I'm going to set that aside. Just going to move this around. Now, if you don't want to use, you know, alcohol, and I mean, you know, isopropyl, this alcohol, not the vodka, you can certainly use water when it comes to them. Okay, I'm going to leave that one alone because I like that. Now this one's going to be more intense. I'm going to come in with some more water. The more water you add to anything that you're ink smushing, the lighter the colors will be. When you use these colors on a silicone mat, the more blotchy it will be. The less water that you use, the more blotchy it will be on a glass surface. If I added a lot of water to this, you're going to get more of a watercolor effect. I love both. My favorite is, though, to be very honest, is the blotch. The very blotchy look. Oh, now that one's cool too. And I'm okay with this white in that background. Let's just keep digging. These scraps can be used for cards. They can be used for anything. And you can see as I dig down deeper into these colors, let's get that off my mat. Let's get that back onto the silicone. The colors are mixing, but I'm loving these mixes. They're very neutral, very much so. Now I'm going to take this. And get this down on my glass mat. And by doing that, I don't have too much more on here. But because of these, all these little bubbles and bloops, now we get that. So we're getting all of these different wonderful layers. Wonderful layers. And don't look at the whole thing, because again, we're going to change it. Some may look at that and say, ew, no. So here I'm going to add alcohol because I didn't grab my water. Let's see what that does. Here's something new. So what I'm seeing the alcohol did is keep it blotchy and bloopy. See, this is why I have them in two different color bottles. And of course I should put the water in the blue, but I didn't do that. Just in case, just before somebody said something. I'm just... I hear you. So now that I've got a lot of water down here, now you can see how smooth those areas got. What's great when it comes to Bristol, it absorbs, so I'm not losing all of my blobs. So very neutral colors, absolutely loving it. I know. I'm going to swipe up this extra ink. I love these little glass mats. Absolutely love them. Let's see. Maybe matte tape works better. I don't know, Sala. It's just, there's just some things where some make it look so easy. Um, Me, nope. I make it look difficult and it does not happen. Yes, use a silicone mat to adhere them down. Yeah, Cordelia. The using the alcohol now. I just use it to spritz. Okay, don't. Okay, let me make a disclaimer here, Cordelia. Not that you would do this, but I'm just going to make the disclaimer here. You do not want to mix your dye inks with alcohol. Although, I I don't know what would happen. Let's find out. So I have a little bit of alcohol down. All right, now guys, if we blow up here, we're all fine. I'm just going to put a drop. Oh, cool. Look how that's just sitting on top of the. Let's see if I don't know if I'm going to be able to zoom you back out. Okay, that is cool. Okay. See, this is why my science teacher said we need to get you out of this class. Now, let's take look at that. That is really cool. Okay. We're going to squish. The alcohol is going to soak through the paper. Oh. Oh, guys, that's cool. I'm not going to put my heat tool to this. That's just me. Alcohol, it can be flammable. So let's not add any heat to that. But that is cool. And look what it's doing there. So again, you can see the alcohol is pushing through the paper. And what happens if I... Look at the different colors that are in Uncharted Mariner. Can you see that? That's good. That is cool. And see how now the alcohol is going away. So that's going to evaporate off of your paper. That's cool. Now, you do need, if you do that, yeah, we got to get an alcohol solution because it made it adhere to the glass mat. But that's the beauty of the glass mat. So now we know when we do that again, we need to do it on a glass mat so that we can clean it. I'm wondering if it's taking the dye inks and making them, no, or making them alcohol inks. Okay. I have not tried sallow alcohol markers. I'll have to do that. Hello, Melvin. Welcome. That is, yeah, it does, Cordelia. It's, okay, I need to research that more. But I am really, look at the back. You can see now the different pigments that are in there to make the color. That's kind of cool. So I'm really going to let this dry because it's you can see it's bubbled. The alcohol's going to take a little bit. The ink's going to take a little bit. So we're going to revisit this at the end. So we're going to set that one aside. I'm going to move out my bottles. All right. I'm going to move this out of my way so I can trip on it, because that's what will happen. So I do apologize. I'm so not prepared. It just came up to an idea, so I grabbed some of the stuff that I need, and I'm going to have to grab some other things. I'm going to keep my acrylic block here off to the side, along with my gouache and this. I'm going to move my re-inkers, because I need space. I need space. Okay, that was really interesting, though. That really, as I'm talking, as I'm walking away, that really has my curiosity. And I am sure somebody else out there has done that and absolutely knows what it's doing. I am just not that person. All right, so let's look at all of our different pieces that we did. These are our larger ones. And again, you can see all of these colors that we used: aged mahogany, uncharted mariner, um, speckled egg, vintage photo, black soot. You can see all of these different shades that we've got. Yes, I love these muted colors. I think they're great, but I love these pops of colors as well. That one's very muted down. Same with this one. This one's a little dark. Probably use that for something else. And then we have all of these awesome strips. Very light toned. Looking at these for washi style, and then another muted one. So this is what we're going to play with and turn into ephemera. And again, anything can be used. Watercolors, acrylic paints. You can do this with acrylic paints as well. Absolutely. I just enjoy using something that will move when it hits water. Acrylic paints will do that as well. You just have to really water them down. And I'm just blotting these. Now, this still feels cold. That's a sign, too, that it's still wet. So that still feels cold. That one's good. This one still has some ink on it, so I'm just going to pull it up. Help that to dry. And we got that. And we're going to do the same thing on that one, too. And we added some blue because I have blue on my rag. And that's okay. All right. So, I don't have a be right back like Biddy does. I have to get one of those. And we'll put a little thingy down there. All right, let me grab some stamps real quick. And you can see how accessible they are. I have my stamps right away. Absolutely. So I am a big fan of course, Stampers Anonymous. Another good one is Crafty Individuals. They have a lot of, tickets and all of that stuff, and then you can just cut them if you want to. So I do have to cut these still, but they, already come mounted. It just comes in a big block. So these are smaller. So if you don't want something this large, when it comes to numbers and textures and stuff like that, Crafty Individuals is a good choice. When it comes to stuff like that, this is the Field Notes. This is the Eccentric. Again, I just love these little tiny numbers that go along there. And then the strings. Gotta love the strings. Will we use all of these? No. Will we use some of these? Yes. Now, let's see here. I think I want to save this one because I'm going to use, when we get into our clusters, I'm going to use those. So let me real quick pull this out. And I'm going to cut. It's okay. I'm cutting out the individual ticket. Well, that was an odd sound. And I do like to trim. When you're trimming rubber stamps, you want to get close to the edge without cutting the edge off, because then you will minimize your chance of ghosting. You know, when we get our ink outside of the stamp and we get that little bit. Now, when it comes to journals, which is what I use these for, I really don't worry about that, because to me it adds to the interest when we're stamping, and just having fun with those. I do like crafty individuals. And again, since it's a smaller stamp, it's not a big investment. You know, your Stampers Anonymous, they can be anywhere from $24, $30. It's an investment. But these little guys are great, and they have lots and lots of choices. Awesome choices, actually. All right, now this one's, of course, got to be a little difficult. Oof. But that's okay. We're going to go right around it. In between. I am not going to cut around those. Now, what I do for the crafty individuals, so when you get it, they'll be packaged. This was all one block, so you just got to cut it apart. And then this is in a plastic. So this is just paper in a pocket, those sealed clear bags. I laminate this, and then my rubber stamps will stick right on that, and then that's how I store those. I don't put them back into an envelope. So just by laminate this, it creates, the cling stamps will cling to it. Okay. Let's get to stamping. I am going to pull in some scrap paper. This is that paper that I showed before. It comes in, it's packaging paper, but I love it. I love the crink of it. I love the feel of it. It makes a great background. I think I used this when I made the two vintage Christmas cards. We made a background. Sometimes it's perforated, so you can cut your sheets out from it. I like to take this and use it within my clusters. I like to have a piece of this off to the side, and I'll just keep stamping on it to create some awesome backgrounds. But it's just got a great texture feel to it. I'm going to focus on the large ones first. You can see they're drying because they curve the other way. I'm just going to roll it. Let's look at some comments here just in case I miss anything. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Appreciate that. I think they're fun. This to me is therapy. I, yes, Cordelia, there's never enough coffee. Yes. Is that the set, the new one? You mean the one that just came out in his Halloween collection? No, with the stamps. Um, let me see here. I know this one's been out for a while. The eccentric. Field Notes has been out for a while. The Baroque's been out for a while. Tidbits 488. We can go by his numbers there. Um, this one, well, yeah, I'm gonna say yes because I haven't broken into it. I do like to separate these, but literally these are jam packed on here because when you break them apart, you don't have anything around them. So, yes, this is one of the recent ones that he came out with. But I did see for the Halloween Stampers Anonymous that was just released, he came out with other ones with stamps and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love those for making ephemera. You could just get one of his collections and boom, you're just done when it comes to that. The inks that I'm going to use. Now, I could pull in the same inks that I used for my colors. I could pull in the oxides of the 6 colors that I used, or I could pull in the inks for those 6 colors. But when it comes to this, the stamp overlay, I'm not going to pull in any stencils. That's what I have this Baroque one for, to add texture to the back. What I am going to use though is I'm going to use my archival inks. So I've got my potting soil and I've got my jet black. I could also use sepia, but I don't want to. Sorry if you're seeing me stretch here, I apologize. Um, a darker brown I could use is the ground espresso. Here's the hickory smoke as well. And I'm not going to stamp in vintage photo because we all know my distress ink vintage photo is going to come in. So we don't need to do that. So these are the colors that I'm going to use to stamp onto these pieces. There's not going to be any rhyme or reason. We're just going to stamp. We're just going to have some fun. Um, but we're going to get this different variation that's on top. Yes, we'll pull in the black just to make some of those very strong as well. All right, let's get to stamping. What do you think? Let's see. I do love the espresso. Um, I mean, I'm always going to go to Cordelia, my vintage photo, for going around my pieces or anything like that. That's just my habit. I have started using scorched timber. I'm loving that one as well. Um, but that's when I really want it dark. So like when I did Creep on June, a lot of that came in because I wanted a brown, but I wanted it close to black, and I didn't want to do the combination of vintage photo and black soot. Oh, don't. I love this brown packaging. It is awesome. I'm ready for stamping. Oh, you're talking about your coffee. Oh, that's funny. I'm not an espresso person. I'm a Starbucks coffee person. Yes. Okay. Okay, that's funny. So comic relief comes into play. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Let's get stamping. You're going to see that I may pull in an acrylic block because, I may do it. I'll pull some out, but I doubt I will use them because it is just quicker for me to, especially this one. And I definitely want to use Hickory Smoke. Now, I am using archival inks. When it comes to this, even though it says distress, they're still archival inks. So remember, they will stain your stamp. They will, what's great is they will not move. And I'm just going to go, nope. I don't want a perfect impression. I just want an impression. I'm never after that perfectness when it comes to that. That's another reason why I really don't pull in a block. And this one we're just going to layer. Let's have some fun with this one. What do I want here? I know I want those three right there. Like I did that. So we're going to come in with this one. And I think for this one, I am going to use second generation. So of course, and you can see I'm just going to build up around this. This one may end up being, I want that one just a little bit darker because it's in a darker area. This may just be pieces of ephemera. And we'll have to see exactly where this one goes because I'm seeing something different. And that's the beauty about creating, right? We start with an idea and then we move on to another idea. But this, I'm seeing something completely different. This one here, I'm loving that phrase. This, I'm going to come in with the ground snoop potting soil. For skill and amusement only. Very fitting. I like that. And I will come in with the ground espresso, not coffee. Just saying. The other thing that's good to have this piece around you is because you're going to see what it's going to somewhat look like. When I know I'm going into a darker color, that's where I'm going to change my colors. I'll pull the black in when it comes to a stamp like this. And again, just having fun adding the texture. To me, that's what stamps do. They add that texture. And again, do you need this number of stamps? No. No, you do not. For little numbers, I am going to pull in that was me, I'm fine. The barn door, just to give it a little more pop. And it's going to blend pretty cool. Flip your stamps, let them be all over. And we'll add one more and we'll put on our thing. So basically what, like when I create stuff like this, we are creating a textured background. Very textured. I want to work on that one. And then we're still going to add stuff on top of it. No, I wanted that big number 5. And it looks like I am pulling in mine. Just different numbers. So you don't necessarily need a what do you want to call it? A stencil that's going to give you texture. You can use stamps to give that difference for you, to give that different look. But don't think about it. Don't overthink it. Just get your stamps out and just stamp them in different areas. And then just by adding that pop of color when it comes to the red, it just brings this out. And again, because on the, when you don't use your, what do you call it? Your blocks, you get that distressed look a little bit more. I love these too. If you don't like or don't want to sew, if you're getting into journals, these are awesome. These are absolutely awesome. they can give you the look of sewing without sewing, which I think is fun. Now, do you have to have, and again, I'm in the world, yes, Stampers Anonymous is a stamp that I do look at when it comes to stuff like this. Absolutely. Now that's me. Do you have to use stamps like this? No. What you can use is if there's a company that you enjoy that has, some great sentiments, you can use them. Why not? So I just gravitate to these. Again, everything is always personal preference. And that's I'm sorry, I was down here when I was stamping. And that's that one. It's kind of cool. We got a cool vibe going on in the back of that one as well. Now, this one here, I want to revisit this one. I do want to pull in not that one. Yeah, we're good. All right, let's pull in one of our strips. Now, for my strips, I like to lay them down. I'm just going to put a few in a row. I'm going to pull my Baroque back in. And I think I want to go with my brown for this one. You don't have to stamp everything one at a time. We're going to go down on an angle. I'm going to flip her. Perfect. See, now we've just got that little bit of hint of that stamp going across them. Yeah, I don't clean my rubber stamps. I'll clean them at the end. So you're not cleaning it. Yeah, it's okay. We are good. We are good. And dun, 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 dun. I'm going to pull that one out. And I'm going to pull that one out. So now I'm going to add some black. And just stamp these where I want them. You can go up and down. And we can even go across two at the same time. Just have fun. We can add some reds. So by having these lined up, it's like you're doing one piece, but you're not. You're getting little tiny bits. Don't have to press down hard. By not pressing down hard, why is that stuck here? You get little bits. And now when I separate them, you get something completely different. You really need to move that up. All right, so have fun with your stamping. Layer things up. What color was the green? Yes. Are we talking dye inks before I speak? So the green dye ink that I used was Forest Moss. And you can see how much that pulled back when it came to that. So all of these colors just really, really pulled back on themselves. This one was really dark, but you could see how that just dropped itself back. And even with that red is just that perfect combination to add that difference. Circle dyes are awesome as well. Again, when we line these up, it can speed up the time. For this one, I'm going to go back to my black. Spin your stamps. Overlap. Don't think about it. Make them go upside down. And you can see we're just continually adding those differences. Don't try to center them into, just have fun with it. Let out frustrations. So those are just some of our washi tapes that we have. So it's cool. I think I'm done with those. I don't want to go too much. Don't want to go too overboard. But we do have more to do. So let's do another set. These are longer. So let's focus on these. Now, these I really want to add the Baroque to. I'm going to go in with the smaller one. I'm going to make sure I'm in view here. I'm going to use the ground espresso again. Well, you know, Sal, I just wanted to make sure, you know, only I could, you know, I hear espresso and I immediately think of a dye ink and not, you know, something that someone would drink. I'm just saying. Just saying. Hi, Sylvia. I see you there. All right, now we're going to get these together. And we're going to double stamp. So I'm going to go down. I'm just plopping it, pushing, lifting back up. And then I'm going to come in on this side, lifting back up. So again, you get that difference of that. But I really wanted that pattern here, especially on that one, because on how dark all the colors that I put down on that. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean that you can't continue to use it. It just was that dark, and I like that darkness. So, here we go. We're going to break into this one. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm liking how you put all that together. I'm going to definitely come in with the red. And we're going to split across these. Go down below. The contrast of the red, now another color that's great with a contrast is actually a blue. Yes, a blue. This is such a different way that he cut these. Very different. I'm not sure I'm used to it. Just saying. There's a squiggle line. That's the squiggle line I wanted. Mm, I may revisit some because I really, really wanted that squiggle line. Same thing, I'm going to stick with the black. Going to get a lot of ghosting on this, and I'm okay with that. If you don't like it, just grab a towel and wipe around it. But I do like when you get those imperfections. Just also don't stamp like I do. I'm very rough when I stamp. Let me put some of these stamps back into place. I think they all go here. At least I hope. Keeping track of all these is very difficult. Yes, for me, it's very difficult. If there's any stamp, my recommendation that you want to look for, you want a squiggle. You want a squiggle stamp. Now, Waffle Flower, too, just came out with the small set with all of those adorable stencil um, blocks, the postage blocks. It's a small set, and that has like numbers and stamp cancellation marks. So that's inexpensive. I love these. Yes, yes. So again, that pop, we've got these as strips. Could keep them as strips. I like to use those as washi. Let's work on this one. I'm going to pull in the potting soil on this one. This one here, no, nope, 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 nope. I am going, where did I put that one? All right, that goes there. Okay, these are just not fun. There we go. Got that. And I still want that pop of red to come into this so that it can roll through. And I want a small circle. No, I'll use this. Let's see, questions. I'm a fan of the Baroque stamps too, Sylvia, and here's why, and you guys can see it. I love stencils as well. I think they're great. Absolutely. I forget to pull them out. Um, so a stamp, for me, will do the same thing that a stencil does. I do have a stencil, and here we go, we've got that. Now that may look blank, but that's okay, because again, we're going to be tearing these. All right, where are we at? Well, how much time are we at? I can't see. Started an hour ago. Okay. Let's focus on the ones that we have. I'm going to pull these back in because we're not done with these yet. I am done, however, with my inks and my stamping. So that's that layer. Let me put this back, because if I don't, this is an extremely solid stamp set, guys. I mean, you can tell that there is no space of rubber in between any of these. Huge assortment where, like with your field notes, that was all the empty space that was around it. I do pull them out of that. So, good value on that one. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to get my stamps out of the way, or else they'll just be in my way. Let's see. I am going to revisit this, like I said. And how I want to revisit this, not with a Sharpie. Here it is. We all love to doodle. Yes. Now, I don't doodle anymore. I Zentangle. I really love this background. And what I'm going to do, that was just line, guys. Just lines. Zentangle is the new doodle. You know, when I first found out that you could be certified, um, hello, Sean. Um, that I was going to be certified, I, reached out, got the information, and we all got together, like on a Zoom to introduce ourselves, get to know each other, and I think this is awesome. I said, it's like doodles on steroid. And I got this look. I'm like, oh my, I don't think I should have said that. Um, but it's very therapeutic. I absolutely love it. So, orbs, lines, have fun with it. I'm just outlining these pieces, not being neat. We do not need to be neat. Having fun, just putting our marks down onto them. And there's a reason why I am doing this to these. You guys know there's always a method to my madness when it comes to this. I can even put zigzag, so I'm making it look like we used our sewing machine to stitch, and we don't need a sewing machine. Just adding little bits here and there. I am using a pen that is archival, waterproof, and all of that fun stuff. This one I grabbed is Derwent line marker. It's permanent, um, and it's in black. Some pens will say that they're archival and they're bleed proof, and nope, they bleed. So you just want to make sure that whatever pen you can use it, you just want to make sure that you do this last so that you don't get um, the marks or the bleed. Okay, that's those. We are going to keep these on here before I cut them because there's a chance of snow coming in. Yes, there is a chance of snow. Again, white acrylic paint, white gel pen. I can't get this cap back on. I am also going to use a pearl. Again, this is by Dick Blick. You could use perfect pearls. Sean, didn't you do a video recently on perfect pearls and fell in love with them? I believe you did. I believe you did. So anything that's going to give you a shimmer. I am actually going to use my water that is not perfectly clean from our session before to mix these up, but that is okay. Mixing some water in, and we are just going to add our splatters. I want to get this done so that it can dry. Your white, whether it's a gouache, and this is just my opinion too, now what I'm about to say. So for me, it does not matter what white you use. I'm now speckled. Um, whether it is a watercolor, whether it is a bleed proof, it will pick up your colors down below if they are water reactive. I used um, dye inks. These will react. So the white will not stay white. Me personally, I'm okay with that. Hang on. I'm okay if it doesn't pick it up. What color did I grab? Okay, gold. This is an acrylic paint. It is a metallic gold. And I'm going to use it just like I'm using everything else. Just to give that hint of gold through this. You could use bronze. You could use anything that you're looking to use when it comes to getting colors down. Just remember with your acrylics, you just want to water them down a little more. I'm into big splatters, and you just want the hint of all of that. For any of you thinking what these are for, these have now become the focal points of our clusters that we're going to make. Yep. Going to set those aside to dry. These here, I'm going to leave these alone. Here's how I will use them. These can either be a thin strip, I'll keep them like this, or I will take my scissors. I will cut them in half. I do like to cut along the length, and then I will tear, and I will tear both ends because we have to have a tear mark on both ends. So yes, there is a very small piece that's sacrificed, but we could also take this piece. See, nothing gets sacrificed. Put some glue. Let's glue it down on that mat. I will come in with my vintage photo. And I will ink around the edges. And really along the short side, because we have that torn bit. And there's a piece of washi tape. We can make our own washi tape. Let's see. So cute doodle on third. Yes! Cordelia, I have been Zentangling, or I've been certified, because no sooner I saw it, yeah, it just grabbed me very quickly. So it's been since 2021. Yes, I got certified in May of 2021. Same thing with this one here. I tear it. I can keep it this width. Come in. I'm loving the vintage photo on this blue. Oh my goodness, I am just loving it. Absolutely loving that. Oh yes, I'm not going to tear that edge. And I'll have that sitting along the side as well. So that's what I will do with these. Okay, that's what we're going to do with those. So I do like to make my own washies because I know they're going to stick too. I mean, whenever I use washi tape, I am cautious only because um, I got to remember, and I always forget, to put glue down when it comes to that. All right, so that's what I do with the strips. Have fun making strips. And again, it's all the scraps, all of the offcuts of my watercolor paper, my Bristol paper. That's what I use these for. But you could also use these in cards as well. You know, a great border strip. As my things just went in, that's all right. It's a great border strip for a card. And again, you can change up your colors. You can make your colors as bright as you want them, as muted as you want them. Again, this can all be adapted to how you create and how you put all of those things together. All right, these are the pieces that we're going to use for clusters. I'm not going to splatter these as yet because that's funny. Because we need to add our embellishments. So let's add some embellishments. So, matter of fact, here's that piece that we created back onto the um, vintage cards. So here we go. We are going to tear paper. And we all know how much I love to tear paper. I am not going to focus on which side is the white edge, which side is the forward edge. I'm just tearing. This piece here will go into my pile for washi tape. These are all going to be different sizes and different shapes. So we've got 5 from that one. Got that one. This will make a great background for a card too. But, nope. Okay, those are our cluster bases. Oh, thank you, Cordelia. I'm reading comments here. You say that every time you see one of the videos. Um, oh, I know, Kathy, you probably already left, but okay, I'll see you in the replay. Um, when it comes to when I put it on YouTube, it's just, yeah, it should be, it is. It's very relaxing, it's very soothing, as it should be. Now, in the group, my Facebook group for tangling, um, I do post, I'm pulling one of each of the designs out. I'll see how far I get, but I do want to make sure that we do at least one of the each. I'm going to put these here so that you can see the steps of what I'm going to do. Okay. Um, I do provide tangles. So like once every 3 weeks, a minimum once a month, or once every other week, there's a new tangle introduced. And I do talk about that tangle. So I teach how that tangle goes. Um, when it comes to tangling. So if you want to learn more tangles, you can definitely check that out. For each one of these, I'm going to go around with the vintage photo because I want that to have that base. I do go heavy on my vintage photo. That is just me. Again, you can go lighter. Where the white area is, I want that to be in the brown. And even though we had some white space on the lined one that we did, now look at the change that that just took by just going around that edge. So I have here a box just of scrappy stuff, little tiny offcuts, little tiny tidbits. We are going to pull all of this in and just have some fun adding even more layers, although I don't know why this big ball of stuffy, this eyelash is in here, but that's okay, because we will use that. And there's a knot. Mm-hmm. Big knot. Big knot. Biggie, big knot. That's a big one. And I just got it loose. There's a purse. I'm just going to clip some of that off and set that aside. And we're just... eyelash thread is great to sit in the background. Okay, so it is great. It does serve a purpose. I would not intentionally go out and buy any. Because it's like glitter. It goes everywhere. I am going to use a combination of liquid glue and double-sided tape. Because for me, the double-sided tape is just quicker to grab onto the eyelash. So for this one, I'm going to put that down. And I'm just going to tack it and then we'll clip it. Because this will be hidden underneath. So now we've got that poof going on there. I don't know. Nope, too big. So let's add okay, I like that. I'm not going to do, and because I can have that tape, I can push that down on top. So now we just have this. Let your items hang over. Don't, worry about, okay, where's this sitting? Try not to do, try. Um, I am going to cut these out. Now, cutting these out, we are going to do some distressing to each of these. Saving those tidbits. These can be shorter pieces of washi. Again, I do try to limit scraps, try to use them as well. That's one thing that I do. These scissors, by the way, are very sharp and awesome. But I've now poked myself 3 times. But that's what's great with a journal, especially when you're making clusters. If you're into that. Now, making clusters, you can also make clusters for your cards. Absolutely. Jizz. Now this I am going to need some glue to come down. Just going to put a blob. Going to crisscross that just a little bit. Going to come in with my mini stapler because I want this to hold. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to put a staple right in the center of it. Now I know nothing's going to move on this. I like it when things are floppy. All right. Now I'm going to take this and my distress tool. Yes, you can use your scissors. I, however, am a klutz. So I will not be using my scissors. This one here is light because remember, we did use a second generation. I am going to come in with a darker shade. This one's fine, this one's fine, this one's fine, this one's fine, this one's fine. Same thing. And this one's fine. So I like to use this tool and I'm going to go around each of the edges and we are going to distress this. As I said, you can use a pair of scissors. I am a klutz and I will cut myself. Done it. It hurts. So I use this to go back and forth. If you don't have this and you feel you are a klutz as well, you could just tear the edge of your papers and you'll get the same look. All right, gives it a tattered look. Yes, the vintage photo is going to come in. Going to go right around those edges. And I'm going to set that down there. Now this I am going to glue. And I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue. Because this piece is... Now, you want to know what? I am going to use my double-sided foam. I'm only going to put it in the middle. I get my double-sided foam squares from Uline. So just like my double-sided 2-inch film tape is not forgiving, these are not as well. These are very strong. And I do add glue to these as well. And we're going to set that there. And that's our first cluster. So only after, about an hour and a half, we got we got our first cluster. But it's completely made from our scraps, from any type of liquid coloring that you have, watercolors, acrylic paints, dye reinkers, anything, just to get color down onto it. If you have stencils, use stencils instead of stamps to get the look that you're looking for. You could do the same thing with strips of scrap cardstock. Just layer them up and have fun with it to get that base onto your piece. And then, again, I know people sometimes they cringe as we're making our bows and we're cutting off those edges and everything else. I have this little tiny box that sits by me that's where everything goes into. I also have all of those strips that I keep when I offcut from my journals as I'm putting a journal together. So in the journal world, yes, I keep everything. But when it comes to other things, again, maybe not everything when it comes to that. Let's see. Yes. Sylvia, I have it all over the place. I'm never going to be able to clean it. Oh, hey, Robin. You're probably gone by now. But hey, catching up on some comments here. Oh, Kadora, I could listen to this sound like all day. And what's great with this stuff is there's no water added to it. That's what's great. So it doesn't have to be baked to get that sound. Yes! It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Okay, let's continue on. Let's create a couple more. I'll set that off to the side. We're going to do the same thing with the eyelash. I'm liking the eyelash, even though it drives me crazy. Now, it's a shame we're missing that for skill and amusement only, but that's okay. I'm going to create some stamps because that's going to go throughout the journal because I just like that statement. So you can see even this I do in steps. And you can add as much or as little of the eyelash that you want. I just like to roll it back and forth. And now that I got that one there, we can do this one too. So even our ephemera we can create in production style. This one though I am going to take off to the side. And I will save that. That will go into that pot. All right, now I have some. Gonna take. Okay, the scissors fell. They did not fall on my foot. I'm gonna take a snippet of this. Now, this is, as you can see, white lace. It's okay because we're just gonna pounce it with what's left on my vintage photo ink there, and now it's not so bright. I'm going to put that there. I do like that one, and I'm going to put that there. I'm going to add some of that, and once I have that there, I am going to staple all of that in place. And now I know that's not going to move. This one here, I'm going to be a little bold. And I'm going to add a black strip. I do love, black is definitely a favorite color of mine because I just think it makes all the colors around it just pop. Just literally come right off the page. Now I'm going to use, not that one, I want to use that one. I'm loving the contrast between these two colors. Absolutely loving it. All right, here we go. Now, and again, we can tear. Yes, we're going to lose some of our line work, but that's okay. We can tear it. We don't need to have any special tools. Our hands are the best tools that we have. And then finally this. So I'm liking that one there. And this one I do want to use the tool. Matter of fact, no, I want to bring that down. I do like tearing paper. I love the edge that it gives. You could also use, if you have those decorative um, scissors, you could definitely use those. They'd be cool. Make them look like little tiny stamps. And I'm going to keep that one edge flat. And now we've got that. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull in my double-sided foam squares. It's a quick way for me to get these to get attached. That's why I'm using them. Gonna drop a little bit of glue. And again, just having fun with the placement. And setting that down. Okay, these are definitely going to get saved, of course. Going to put those up there. Now, those other ones that I haven't completed yet, they are going to go into the bin that I have. Whenever I work on a journal, I always have like a bin um, that will show. Where did I put that? Found it. That holds all the pieces for the journal that I am putting together. So here we go. These are the clusters that we've made. And again, went with the artsy feel because it's for that sketcher, for that, you know, watercolors that wants to journal inside of the book. We can do that. And again, by just adding these pops of color, these are clusters. Now, what for those of you that may not know that are here, clusters, um, clusters can be an embellishment. So a lot of times, like on my cover, I'll add those florals that come around the main image and all of that. You know, this could be that cluster that goes on there. These are decorative pieces on top of pockets. You can put this on top of a tag that's clipped into your journal. You could absolutely put this into on one of your pages and put glue down here and here, and now you have a tuck, a very small tuck, but you have a tuck that something can sit. So clusters, the way that I use it, my hands are horrible. I am so sorry. The way the clusters, but to me this is a good feeling. Clusters for me, excuse me, are embellishments um, to a page, to a pocket, to an envelope that's clipped in, to your journal. These also can be focal points on your cards for your card making. You could make a bunch of these and create a beautiful note card set with these as your focal point. Now, again, I am very vintage style. I am very grunge style. That's my liking. That's my taste. By you simply changing the backgrounds, changing the colors, changing the image. Maybe you want that image to be a cutesy critter. Um, that's fine. Absolutely fine. These could be die cuts that are layered in the back. But this would be an adorable, absolutely adorable die cut sitting on top there. Here's a card back. So there you go. There's your focal point. And just add your sentiment down below. And you have a beautiful card. So again, we don't, this one could be a beautiful landscape. I mean, look at all that beautiful texture sitting on your card. Again, add your sentiment across here. Add your sentiment going across this if you want. I mean, that's a beautiful and very unique. We ain't Hallmark people. Nope. No, 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 we are not. We are better. We are better because we are creating art. Ever seen a card like this in a store? Nope. Absolutely not. But look at that, the way that these would look. Yes, I actually have these just sitting here next to me. Beautiful gift for somebody for a note card set. Absolutely. It's unique. It's different. And that's what we do. We totally create unique art that nobody else is going to be able to create but you. So that's what we can work towards. And they can be used for anything, even though these are specifically for a journal. So again, have fun when it comes to when it comes to this. Looking at some comments here, and then I'll let you guys go. very soon. Let's see, Cordelia says a few weeks ago when we got Tangle, I loved it. When I saw Tangle come up, you know, Gwen fought for that for a while, and they finally put it on. I thought it was great. When I saw that, I knew which stamp set I was going to use. Well, get ready, guys. So I'm shooting for the beginning of October. Um, a new set of 4 stamps have been created, and they are currently in production. So, and I'm really excited over this one. Would you guys like to see a sneak peek of the design? Let me know. I love this, and I have lots of catch up to do. Let's see, Sal Cubes, right? People were knitting. I talked about it for kids using one like that. It acted as the spikes. Oh, that would be so cute. Yeah, eyelash. It's a beautiful yarn. I hated knitting or crocheting with it because it just knotted up onto me. It was horrible. Um, I would throw it across the room by the time I was done. That's when I moved to socks. I love knitting socks. Give me a sock anytime, a sock yarn, and I am so there when it comes to that. Let's see. Yes, Sally, you could use your nails to go around that. You could actually, you know, tear it and curl it and get little tweezers and bend it up. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hidden paper clips. Yes. Great idea, guys. Clusters are just so versatile when it comes to what we can do. Yes, gift tags. Guys, these are great ideas. Absolutely great ideas. Um, okay. Hello, Noreen. Welcome. Okay. So I know there's one set I won't show, but I will show you one of the stamps. But there's one set I won't show. All right, which one do I want to show you? I don't know. So I will say with the new collection, there are 2 for the holidays. All right. So one is dealing with snowflakes, and the other one is dealing with ornaments. So there's a clue on those 2. There is one for fall. One of our followers here had made a request, and I honored that request. Um, that's the one that I won't talk about. And there is a what I'm going to call a botanical, and that's the one that I'll show you. I'm going to show you the botanical. So here you go. So this will create a landscape. You can set it on a horizontal, top and bottom. We have be happy, smile, with sympathy. So we took it. Smile is a nice big sentiment. You guys know I love the big sentiments. Um, if I take this up, this has over, I want to say 50 different tangles when it comes to this whole floral botanical design. So what do you think? You like it? Okay. So you did. Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys like that. That was the first time I wasn't quite sure how this was going to come out because you have to know, um, you know, when it comes to Zentangle, I'm testing all kinds of different things out for the stamps, and I'm listening to everybody. I am loving the feedback that I am getting. What I will say with this set as well, you know, when I started out, it was big images. You know, the big ornament, the big mandala, the big wave, the bloom went across, you know, those types of things. And then when we got into the second one, you know, I was still with the big images because I love big images. We can do so much with those images. You know, break them down, stamp it down, cut it up, switch it up, stamp it off to the side, top, bottom, left, right, whatever you want to do. Um, but again, sometimes it's tough to get out of that box when we see it. So I will say with this stamp set, that stamp that I just showed you is the largest. So, and what I mean by that is it's the only one with a large image, and then you've got the sentiments. So you can stamp it to the right, left, top, bottom, middle, whatever you want to do when it comes to that image. The other stamp sets have individual tangled images. So you can layer, you can mask, you can they're separate, you can make a pile, you can add something off to the side. So lots of um, items like that. Because that was some of the feedback that I got. And I think that's why Flourish in the second set was so popular because you had the L image and then you had that individual image hanging out there that you could do whatever you want, whether it was cut it out, layer it on top of the L, and all that. It gave you more options, it seems, um, when it comes to that. So that's kind of what I looked at. But we've got a little bit of fall, we got a couple Christmas, and then we've got one very universal. And yes, I've already started to design for the spring summer of 2025. So, um, when it comes to that, oh, good, everybody likes that. I'm glad. It's you never know, and I wasn't quite sure how that was going to go down into the stamp because just like with everything, it is a process. Bless everybody and the small businesses and all of the creators out there because, wow, you learn so much as you go through this. Um, yes, Sylvia, there's many tangles that are sitting in there um, when it comes to that. Cut it, you can stamp half of it, top, bottom, you're going to get all of those different looks. Smaller separate tangle botanical imagery would be fun too. Okay, I'll make a note of that, Sally. Thank you. Cordelia said, I've used the wave of tangle stamp to make two cards. Yes, because you stamp a boop, stamp it, cut it in half, absolutely, or put it into two corners to bring it down. Um, absolutely, and that's what's fun with the large images. So I wanted to give you guys that sneak peek, even though we are just coming into the end of August. Let me tell you what, October is going to be here. And as always, we were going to do a live. Um, and after the live, make sure you stay tuned to Biddy. Biddy Penny will be doing videos when it comes to the stamp sets. I don't know when, but I just love her take. And I also have somebody new, and I'm hoping to get one more. I just haven't reached out to her yet. Um, but Sean, are you still in here? I'm not sure if he's still in here or if he left. But Sean from Manly Made Minute, he is going to be doing some creations for me. So I cannot wait to see what he does. What he did with the Flourish was amazing. Absolutely amazing, the technique that he used. So make sure you tune into his channel. If I could, I'd put his link here, but after this uploads, I will make sure I link to his channel down there, down below. Make sure you check him out. Manly Made Minute. He does some really interesting and fun techniques. Um, and yes, believes that we are making art and we should show it and be proud of it. So, all right, guys. Let's see. And got it. Oh my God. Are you serious, Cordelia? Hey, it's been almost a year since I asked my husband for craft supplies and you got a toaster. Yeah. Wow. I take care of buying all the appliance so my husband doesn't have to. Oh my goodness. I'm going to let you all go. Enjoy your day. I've kept you here long enough. But again, you can see what we can do. We're going to start working on the art sketch journal. I know I showed the other one a while ago, but I'm actually going to be doing something else with that. So we're going to put that one on the hold. We're going to go back into the journals. I call them journals. Many refer to them as junk journals. So we're going to be doing a couple of those. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your week. Um, just have fun with it, guys. Take care. Make sure you're continuing to stay safe as always. I cannot say thank you enough to each and every one of you, those that watch my videos, that stop by, that subscribe, comment, all of it. Thank you. Just thankful so much. I am truly blessed and grateful. I love what I do here. I love teaching. And just get ready throughout this year. There's going to be a lot of things that are available, a lot of options that people will have, um, and a lot of different type of classes that will be available. So guys, take care. Love to each and every one of you. And until the next time, we'll be crafting. Take care.